The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Wednesday, the 11th day of June, 2025. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lindos, and People's Pharmacy. I'm Jamel Hartman. She's Mia Chambray. And Teo Dill will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in the news break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Mia, how are you?
Hey, good morning, Jamel. It's a beautiful day in Bermuda, and I'm feeling great. I'm so excited to be with you today.
You know, I'm happy you said it's a beautiful day in Bermuda. Not even the part that you're happy to be with me, but I mean, I appreciate that. Not many people say that, Mia. Honestly, it's rare. But, you know, I moved from Florida, South Florida, to Georgia last year.
Yes.
And one of the things that, you know, people always ask, oh, do you miss Florida? I'm like, heck no, that was the worst of the 7 states I've lived in. They're like, really? You lived in New York and Boston? I'm like, that's cool. But in Florida, in the summer,
yeah,
like rain, thunderstorms every day. It may be for like 5-10 minutes, but every day you're going to get that, right? And then it's going to be blazing hot afterwards. Well, I thought moving to Georgia, things would be better. Folks,
no.
For the last week or so, it's been like, I don't know what's happening. When I checked things out, it didn't look like this, Mia. So I don't know. I'm in my feelings about you saying a beautiful day in Bermuda because I don't know. It felt like that was like a dig at me or something. But, you know, I'm glad that you all are experiencing those great days in Bermuda. You deserve it.
Thank you. I do have to say, though, Jamal, it does feel like summer has just kicked the door off the hinges. It is so hot.
Yeah.
The humidity is crazy. But there's no wind. There was a pink full moon last night. Sunset was just unbelievable. Honestly, like, Bermuda is so breathtaking. It really is.
You know, I heard Maya say something about like something about the moon yesterday. And
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Nobody took a picture for me because, you know.
Yeah, I have some pictures. I'll send it.
Okay. Mia's going to send us some pictures, folks.
Yes.
She said,
listening or watching took some pictures. Please send it to the Daily Hour. We'd love to.
Yeah, please do. Shikarena says same thunderstorms in Charlotte. So see, they were telling me move to Charlotte. See, it would just follow me there as well. Would have followed me there as well. All right, greetings everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today, as we welcome a very talented Bermudian Soleil Richardson on. We're going to be discussing her journey, her dancing journey, but also her upcoming summer series. So, Mia, you're a performer, so you know how to dance, right?
Yeah, I danced like my whole life, from when I was like a toddler to when I was a senior in high school. So yeah, I danced at Jackson School. Shout out to Jackson's.
Okay.
And yeah, I love to bust a little boogie in my kitchen.
Okay. You know, I don't dance. Now see what happened is my talent was talking, so I just went with the talking thing. So. Right. If that's a talent at all. So
me too.
Remember last year, Teo, we were on this show and we were talking about something, and Teo got up and started dancing. Oh, I know what we were doing. We were talking about the Portuguese dancers in the parade. And it was Teo, Larry, and I. And Teo got up and tried to do it. And I swear, brother's still recuperating from that injury. I swear he's still recuperating. But anyway.
Oh, that's hilarious.
With Soleil. We've got to name that place for the Daily Play today. So it should be really cool. And don't forget, if you haven't already, subscribe on our website, follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Folks, if you're tuned in on Hot 1075, give us a shout out. Let us know. Send us a video. Tag us on social media. Show us your radio dial. Let us know that you are locked in on Hot 1075. Big up to everyone at Inter Island Communications. Real the Will Deal over there, making sure that we're pumping through so that you all can listen while you're on your way to work, because we don't want to be responsible for making you late for work. Anyway, Neil, we've got to have a conversation before we bring our guest in for the day. We've got to have a conversation. Before we do that, Charles H. Jefferson II, he says, I don't remember the weather being like that in Atlanta, but I left 10 years ago, global warming. Well, hey, look, we were having this conversation before we got on live, right? I am not saying anything. I slipped up last week. I'm not talking about anything to do with politics in the U.S., Mr. Trump, Mr. Musk. I mean, I wanted to ask if they wanted me to recommend the marriage counselor, but I'm not doing that, because although I'm a citizen, your boy does not want to get, what they call it, deported.
Deported.
I don't want to be deported. So that was Charles saying that, Mr. Trump and Mr. Musk. I was just reading what he said. And anything that comes on this show, trust me, I can't control what Mia or Teo or the rest of them say. All right. I am an honorable United States citizen that is not here to work my way out. I just want to put that out there.
Okay.
How that sound, Mia?
Sounds great. We don't want you to be put on ice or in ice.
Yeah, no. Like that. Put on ice. I like that. That was a good one. All right. Let's get to the question of the morning. So yesterday, I saw a tweet. I think it was a tweet on social media post.
Yeah, it was a tweet, I think, too.
Yeah, and someone was saying that I don't know if it was a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, but it was like $4,000 to rent in Cedar Park. Mm-hmm. And you go through the websites of like the realtors in Bermuda, and you start to realize, like, wow, rent is really expensive in Bermuda, right? And we have to have this conversation. Remember that in April when I went to Bermuda, I met with two non-Bermudians who were in Bermuda. They were kind of upset. They went on social media. So I wanted to meet them and kind of get an understanding. And they said they couldn't find housing. Mm-hmm. They couldn't believe the cost of living. And it was just really nice to sit down with, I don't like to say expats, but people who came to Bermuda to work to really figure out their standing. Mm-hmm. Long story short, I sympathized, with them. I had empathy for their situation. But I also have it for Bermudians. And so the question of the morning is, how can we address the rising cost of rent in Bermuda? But also, do you believe Airbnb should be outlawed in Bermuda? That's a yes or no question. Mm. Do you believe Airbnbs, because people think that's what contributes to this? Mm-hmm. But how can we address the rising cost of rent in Bermuda? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, my thoughts on that. It's interesting, Jamal, when I was doing my research last night, I did kind of an overview, sort of at the moment, what is the cost of a studio versus a 2-bedroom versus a 3-bedroom for mm-hmm. rentals. So a studio, in the kind of the catchment of the city of Hamilton is $2,000 to $3,000. And then kind of when you're going out to subsequent parishes, it's $1,500 to $2,500. That's for a studio. I have a son and my husband, so we're a family of 3. So we would need a 2-bedroom. So if we were in the city, that would be between $4,000 and $6,000. And if we were outside of the city, $3,000 to $5,000. By the way, I rent. I don't own a home in Bermuda. I'm working on that diligently. I have a million jobs to try and save for that. But then if you're looking at 3 bedrooms and up, so if you're a family of 4, you're looking at in town, you're looking at $6,000 to $10,000, and outside of town, you're looking at $5,000 to $8,000. I mean, they're exorbitant. And if you're looking at this, the average Bermudian, so I would consider myself kind of an average Bermudian. I have a business, a little boutique in Hamilton. And then my husband, he works for a local company, not a reinsurance company, just works for a regular company. You're looking at kind of dual salary of maybe like $130,000 a year between the two of you. And that's going to take, so a rent alone for us, for the three of us, is going to consume over 40% of our gross household income. That leaves barely any room for, childcare, education, groceries, transportation, just like living. So I don't really have any answers, Jamal, honestly. I don't know where we go from here. I think I also did some digging into mortgages. What is there kind of support for mortgages? There seems to be some support mortgage-wise via the banks. But there also seems to be, I know Maya did a piece a couple weeks ago on rent versus long-term rent versus Airbnb. There seems to be a ton of Airbnbs versus, there was from something like 40 Airbnbs versus like 11 rentals, long-term rentals. So, Barcelona just recently outlawed 10,000 Airbnbs because there are no places for, locals to live. There's no, and so they recently just freed up 10,000 units. This is recently, this is like in the past 3 months. So we really need to look at it and look at why Airbnbs are so, I don't think Airbnb is the enemy. I think it's like, why do people who own properties feel like they need to do Airbnb, what's in it for them financially, et cetera, versus long.
I don't know in a Bermuda sense that Airbnb is always financial, though. I think and this is your daily discussion brought to you by Titan Express and Secure Trucking. Kenton Trott says here, good morning to the H family. We need more protections for landlords and tenants as well. There are many people I know afraid to rent apartments due to past issues, so they choose Airbnb. And we've seen cases, thank you, Kenton, we've seen cases in the news recently where landlords have been taken advantage of, where we see the bad situations, right? So I do sympathize with landlords as well. I think it's not a matter, in my opinion, based on what I understand and know of landlords being the big bad enemy, but some of them just don't want to deal with the headaches that come with certain rents, so they do price themselves out, or there are the cases where some are only charging what allows them to pay the bank, right?
Absolutely.
It's a tough one. It's a challenge that the government has to deal with. Who's the housing? Is it Zandy Silva, Minister Zandy Silva? I think is the housing minister. I'm interested to know what solutions his ministry can come up with in terms of assisting with this problem. And it's a big problem. Let me be clear how big this problem is. It's not just a problem for Bermudians who may have average paying jobs and work in multiple jobs. This is a problem for people who are coming to Bermuda to work as well.
Yes.
We have a housing crisis.
We do.
I think the housing crisis, we said years ago that the antisocial behavior that we experience in Bermuda is a direct result of, international business and the like, the correlation between that and antisocial behavior, which people still ignore to this day. But I think this housing crisis can lead to something major as well. I heard the words of Dr. Ewart Brown yesterday. Bermuda's going to look very different. Mia's a Bermudian. There are many Bermudians like Mia who they rent. They don't have the means at this time to buy a house. And it's going to be, in the words of Dr. Ewart Brown, a playground in the mid-Atlantic for the rich. If we're not careful. I mean, it already is kind of. So
it's already turning into that, I think.
There needs to be protections for Bermudians. And when I say Bermudians, people who have put, and their families who have put decades, if not centuries, into building and this island. And I'm talking about Bermudians of all walks of life and backgrounds. We have to. And another truth is, we as a collective, and this is not all, but many of us have done horrible jobs of transitioning assets, right? Someone passes away, a will's not properly written, and then a house becomes abandoned, and it's so many things that we need to get right as well. But again, question of the morning, audience: how can we address the rising cost of rent in Bermuda, and do you believe Airbnb should be outlawed in Bermuda? For those tuned into Hot 1075, if you'd like to comment, we're trying to find a solution where you can send some voice notes in. But in the meantime, right now, you can go on to thedailyhour.com on a computer, or if you're on a phone device, cell phone, you can go on to YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, just find the Daily Hour. But let's go to the comments, Mia. We've got Charles H. Jefferson II. He says, I would like to know how many derelict homes we have in Bermuda. There seems to be many more than I remember. I just touched it. Right? Yeah.
I agree, Charles. I was thinking that. I think that all the time when I'm driving around Bermuda, when I'm in town. There's so much space that could be used, that could be transformed, that we could really kind of crush this housing crisis issue. But I think we don't know what to do. Like you said, Jamal, it's hard to transfer wealth. That's not necessarily within, well, obviously family to family, but then transferring wealth within our government, within our community. How do we make that happen? Government buildings that we own that are just sitting and going up, just rotting. How can we transfer the wealth from previous generations to now to make sure that we benefit from it as well?
Headley and Swan says, I agree with air, bed, and breakfast. And she would say spell it, but she agrees with Airbnb in Bermuda. Sean Smith says, no, I don't believe Airbnb should be outlawed. Okay. Michelle White says, actually, maybe restrict Airbnb to a total number of properties only. I believe in free market to a sense. I don't believe that the government should get in the way of people doing what, if it's not, and this is a thin line, because I was going to say if it's not hurting or harming others, but it kind of is almost. It is. And I don't say that to be funny, but it's hard to tell people what. It's like telling a business, like if someone comes into your store, Mia, and tells you, what to do. It's kind of hard to tell you, but we have to find a balance, right?
I think
we address the rising cost of rent in Bermuda. Nikki Michelle says high rises. She says multi-purpose high-rise spaces. I was going to say, most of the places I've lived throughout the U.S. have been apartment complexes. We don't have many of those in Bermuda.
No.
That could be a solution to the rental problem, like apartment complexes.
Yeah, and I think that was part of the OBA's platform, actually, when they were rolling out for the election, that was something that they were going to look at to reinvigorate the city of Hamilton. And I believe it's something that, that was part of their platform, which I'm not completely against, because it does really modernize the city. But I think it's just, again, it's the look and feel of Hamilton. But it seems like, there's a lot of buildings going up all over the place. And every time I see one of those red signs, I stop and look. And there literally are buildings that have been here for generations and have a, distinct Bermudian look and feel. They are old Bermudian properties, are being torn down to build five-story units. That's happening all over the place, Jamal, all over Hamilton. So if we're doing that. I think.
Yeah. Michelle White says, are we talking about Airbnb as a platform? I would agree. However, as landlords, we should be able to continue short-term rentals as private owners. Okay. One Day Bermudez, the founder. All right. Says, whatever the plan, we need to address this. Yesterday, too many have left and too many are planning to get out. Yeah, it's long overdue addressing it. Manuela John says the housing problem may not only caused by Airbnbs, but also vacant/derelict houses that need to be sorted out. Indeed, Kenton Trott says, then planning restrictions in Bermuda need to be revisited as well.
Yes.
Sheikha Reyna says, would apartment complexes in Hamilton be affordable? That's the key question.
Well, that's the question, Sheikha, yeah.
Yeah, I think this may be way out there. And Taylor's going to tell me if it's way out there, because he has a tendency to do that. But this may be way out there. Because no, seriously, some of you may be saying in your head, Jamal, like chattel slavery is over, right? And that's not what I'm saying here. but maybe incentivize people, right, if they have time and opportunity, to kind of build the complexes themselves with a sense of owning the units that they help build. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
So that affordable housing is on them. How much that makes sense?
Oh, it makes complete sense, and there's a lot of that happening in lots of different parts of the world. So
Mhm.
I could see how it could absolutely happen here. We need something like a community bank, and then the community bank reinvests in these kind of community building operations, etc. But what I wanted to say to Sheikah's comment, and I agree. So there's the Bermudiana complex that just went up, and these are supposed to be affordable housing on South Shore. And this a studio apartment I think starts at something like $4,000.
Mhm.
Who is that affordable for, Jamal? It's
Well,
not affordable.
I don't think they use the term affordable anymore. When they
No,
reannounced the opening, they didn't use that word, and a lot of people were saying, "Well, who's supposed to afford this?" Well, the government and Minister De Silva were very smart by not using that word affordable like it was used previously. I
right.
caught that. I definitely caught that. Let's go through this. We got to bring Teo in.
Oh,
Charles D. Sheps II says, while our current hotels are not operating 100% occupancy, Airbnbs do allow for more variable pricing of accommodations. The average daily rate will likely increase with a shortage of rooms. Nikki Michelle says, but if you build with sustainability in mind, mixed use high rises would be incentivized with affordable housing as a rule, not an option. Katie Lama saying a program that lowers mortgages for homeowners that rent to Bermudians. All right, let's bring Taya Dill in. Before we do that, let's give some love to Titan Express and Secure Trucking for their support of these daily discussions.
The daily discussion is brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. Visit TitanEXBDA.com, your leading tour and transport provider specializing in Black History tours throughout the island. And SecureBDA.com for all your property management, waste management, residential, and commercial trucking needs. Professional, punctual, and reliable service is our commitment to you.
Alrighty. Yeah, let's bring Teo in for the Daily Hour news break. After that, we have a very talented Bermudian, Soleil Richardson, coming on, and she's going to be talking about her journey and how she's giving back to the dance community in Bermuda.
Morning, fam. Hey, Mia. Hey, Jay. And thank you, as always, to People's Pharmacy for making this particular chunk of TDH possible. And it is Father's Day coming very fast. And if you go to People's, you will have some marvelous options for the fathers in your life to make them feel affirmed and loved this Father's Day. Y'all been to People's, you know they got everything. And it's all, great quality and worth a look. So check them out this Father's in advance of this Father's Day.
Hey, Tay.
You.
What do you think about my idea?
It's good, I think. Like, broadly speaking, I think that model, which is to say the state just giving people money directly to do stuff, is broadly better than building big, dense, thick bureaucracies to kind of administer it on behalf of people. And you can there's some evidence of the efficacy of this approach with the increased presence of the universal basic income program. I don't know if y'all familiar with that, where the government doesn't have like this deep financial assistance where you got to do all this application and validate your means testing. It's just everybody every month, no matter what, gets this amount of money. And it in the places that it's been rolled out, it's broadly been effective, like reduced homelessness, reduced antisocial behavior, improved academic performance for young people. It just simplifying everything. So I say all that to say, if the government wants to be a partner in like helping people build their homes, but it's like, okay, we're going to upfront the cost as long as you cover this. That instinctively that feels good to me. But the thing that's going to hem it up, though, and this is the problem, is that we do not trust ourselves enough to allow government funds to be spent that way. Because we're going to say, well, I know that guy. We went primary school together.
Yeah.
He ain't never been trustworthy.
Yeah.
And is going to mess up the money. And that's my money now. And it's like,
right.
that's what will ham it up. Because think about like with financial assistance as it is now, right? Like the thing that people complain about is fraud, where like there's people getting the support that don't deserve it and they're using it improperly. Like the percentage, like the number of people that get financial assistance that behave in that way is minuscule. It's minuscule. Like the vast majority of folks that get it need it and use it properly. But all we think about is, you know, the worst case scenario. And it really frustrates me.
I got to ask you this as well, though, real quickly, before you head into news. Airbnb, a yes or a no?
Oh, yeah. I haven't traveled voluntarily into a hotel property for 15 years.
My goodness.
Airbnbs are the best way to move, I think. Like, I don't need my sheets changed for me. I don't really use room service like that. Okay. And I want to be closer to the venue or the spot that I'm trying to occupy. Like Airbnbs just beat hotels straight up and down for me, for my type of traveler.
I stayed in an Airbnb, I think, once in my life in Newport, Rhode Island.
Really?
Wow. Yes, usually. As much as I've traveled, it's usually been hotels because of the points thing, right? But I tell you no lie. Newport, Rhode Island, that was one of the best experiences I had ever had in my life. And I never did it again. And we're talking, it was at least 11 years ago.
Man, go back, man. It's such a cool experience.
Yeah, I've done.
And you can even build like relationships and stuff.
Yes, exactly. That's
what you got in the news?
Start off with something not so great. A physical fight in the heart of our capital city ended with 3 men being taken into police custody earlier this week. It all went down at Queen Elizabeth Park at around 3:30 p.m. on Monday, when officers found 3 guys engaged in the altercation while wielding weapons, including a motorcycle helmet. But thankfully, the officers were able to intervene and get it all under control before too long, and they arrested the participants. If you got any information about it or if you saw it, contact PC Tarek Riley, 247-1704, or triley@bps.bm.
This may sound terribly irresponsible for me to say publicly, but I feel like I have to say it. And I think you'll all understand why. But something, as much as I don't want to promote or advocate for violence, something about this feels better than knowing that a gun or a knife is involved in our current state. It was fit rather than the will to kill, if that makes sense.
Like old school.
Yeah, an old school.
I see what you're saying.
You know, like something. Yeah, it just, again, it's bad. We don't want to advocate violence, but if we're
gonna have a fight,
yeah.
Let them fight with helmets type thing.
Well, it's not and it's not refreshing, but I don't know, just the state we've been in.
I agree. It's just out in the open, old school, meet me after school. Let's do this thing. I mean, I don't know who these
again, we're not saying that this should be the norm, folks. We're simply saying it's again,
it's
and
preferable.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, it's not like shooting at nighttime with guns, you know?
Right. Like, I don't want to end your life.
Yeah.
Right. There's no will to kill there. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
No, that's a good point.
It's a very good point.
Thanks, Jay. I honestly hadn't thought about that. Now, and something you may not be thinking about, we are beginning to enter the end of the era in Bermuda where you can buy, sell, and own traditional internal combustion engine vehicles. And the government is asking for your feedback on what this journey is going to look like. As you recall, the government made the commitment to phase out fossil fuel burning vehicles in the 2022 throne speech, and part of that process will require the installation of a robust electric vehicle charging infrastructure. And as you can see, the relevant committees launched the consultation phase of this process with a stakeholder questionnaire, which is on the screen right now. And you've got until July 13th to share your feedback and contribute your thinking. This is a national commitment that is as consequential as anything that we're going to go through as a population of people. Do you think like we're really thinking about this at all? Like 10 years from now, no gas vehicles.
Yeah, but well, my thought is that all of our electricity comes from burning gas.
Oh, so you're like, this don't go far enough. Like,
it doesn't work. The model doesn't work. Doesn't make any sense because at the end of the day, our electricity still comes from burning fossil fuels.
mm-hmm.
So
Okay, you took the wind out of those sails, did you, Mia?
sorry. I mean, unless we're going to go totally solar or something, and then all the fuel and then all of the electric vehicles are going to be powered, and we're all going to be powered by, solar. Yeah,
like wind, like just renewables.
So there was a meme about that.
Renewable energy. Yeah.
There was a meme about that I shared last year where I'm like, interesting. The electric vehicle still requires power from real electricity. Burning fossil fuels. So I'm glad Mia actually said that publicly because I just shared it to be funny last year. And
I know it's true.
It's true.
Like, it's like recycling.
Yeah.
That's not.
Yeah.
Give it some thought, audience. Give it some thought because
Yeah.
Well, here's another thing to think about in this space, in that, as we all know, we're not alone in the world in gradually moving towards electric vehicles en masse. But this tech comes with a bunch of new problems that were hard to anticipate and haven't yet all been resolved. Just imagine, right? You buy a new hybrid. You're waiting for the cargo ship to arrive. And then you get a call, find out that it, along with hundreds of others, spontaneously caught fire in the middle of the ocean because the battery started to leak, and they're going to explode before it's going to explode before it gets to you. This is, I didn't just make that up. This is currently happening right now, like as we speak, again, to a shipment from China. Check it out.
Letting it burn out due to the risk of explosions from lithium-ion batteries on board. Those batteries are dangerous at sea. They can burn at extreme temperatures, release toxic gas, and reignite after being extinguished. Salt water only increases the risk by corroding battery casings. The exact cause of the fire hasn't been determined, but this isn't the first time a cargo ship full of electric vehicles has gone up in flames. In 2022, the Felicity Ace burned for nearly 2 weeks before sinking in the Atlantic with nearly 4,000 luxury cars on board, resulting in losses of more than $400 million.
Almost half a billion. Woo.
Were they Teslas?
I don't know.
I can't ask that. I'm sorry. I take that back. I didn't say that. But no, seriously, on a serious note, so how are we supposed to transport them worldwide?
Well, I mean, this is just part of the risk that's got to be priced in. But the thing that I was thinking for us here, and I'm sure that the policymakers and eventual vendors are thinking about this, is when she said salt water corrodes the casings of the batteries. I mean, Bermuda is one of the most humid places on the planet. Like, you can't escape salt water here. Does that mean that we need a special type of electric vehicle, or like special protections or something to avoid these kind of things from happening?
The whole thing is ridiculous. And also, what's happening when all these cars are going across the ocean, and all these cars and their batteries and everything's going in the ocean, and it's poisoning everything in the ocean, and like, what's happening? The whole thing is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's okay. No. I think I'm really grateful for that contribution because it underlines that there are no panaceas, right? Like, everything comes with a cost benefit analysis. Like, it's good in this way, but it creates these other problems. And going green is not inherently. Going green as an idea is essential, but like doing it smart is the real key.
Yeah, we're just not there with the technology yet. We just can't do it just yet. And by the way, for those of you who are listening on Hot 107, I'm a huge environmentalist, like to my absolute core. Like, everything about my life, I try to live in a sustainable, meaningful, ethical way, and I just don't agree with this. So.
I'm glad you said that because folks, if you're listening on the radio, you can't see her face. I'm quite enjoying it this morning. I really am. Taylor, you know when someone, and it's not all the time, but when someone is present and they are more of a opposer of something than me, it makes my day. So
and it hits different coming from Mia because as far as the TDH crew is concerned, she is definitely like the resident environmentalist. So you should listen to her when she speaks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now No, you're very welcome. It's very well deserved. Now, there was a story in the Gazette last week that we were talking about in the TDH WhatsApp group about a new local AI consulting firm. It sounded pretty interesting, so I figured I would learn more and share it with you. So I went to the company's LinkedIn to find out about it. They're called Alevity AI, and they got a bunch of promo content describing specific use cases for a broad range of professional circumstances. Public and
says
private.
the fire is still.
Oops.
And the page, Alevity, they emphasize that AI can not only help improve overall efficiency and output, but won't necessarily render staff redundant in the process. Problem is, I went to their website, tried to do the AI impact assessment, but as you can see, I couldn't make it work. I don't think it was my fault. But anyway, it looks exciting. And the reason I was really excited about this is because there's a new Google AI product that I'm hoping is going to take up more space in Bermuda. You've probably gotten a couple emails about it in your Gmail already. This thing looks game changing. Jay, I know you're going to feel this. You know how when you're setting up your studio, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or doing anything technical,
Mm-hmm.
the first thing you do is go on YouTube and find a tutorial, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like instead of Googling the solution, you want to see somebody walking through your specific problem.
Mm-hmm.
With this Google AI Studio, you just have to stream your screen. Just watch this.
My accounting or bookkeeping for the month. And so I have these categories here, but I want them to be drop-down options. Like I want this to be a drop-down menu so that I don't have to type it in every time. How do I convert all of these fields in the category section into a drop-down option?
The user has a list of categories in Google Sheets and would like to create a drop-down menu for that section. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, to create a drop-down menu, first select the cells in the category column where you would like the drop-downs. Then, in the top menu, click on Data, and from the drop-down, choose Data Validation. Then you should select List of Items in the Criteria section, and write out the options you want in the list separated by commas. Then click Save.
I don't
Would you like
see
to see
that.
a demonstration of these?
I just see Add a Rule here. Should I be clicking this Add a Rule?
Yes, click the Add Rule button. This will open the Data Validation
okay.
Settings panel.
That was still too many steps for me. I'm confused, but yeah.
No, but do you like
Amazing. That's
you
amazing.
just stream your screen and then you talk to your computer about how to do something, and it tells you, and it corrects itself as it goes along. And it's not just for Google; it's for anything, anything at all.
You all aren't freaked out?
Is that Gemini?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I think I'm going to pay for it. For the trial run or whatever, just to see how it goes for a couple of weeks. Because this could be life changing for folks.
Took me a few years to get into like ride share. Give me a few. I'm a little delayed when it comes to.
I love this, although again, AI and all these things are putting a lot of stress on the planet from an energy point of view. So we need to figure that out.
Our resident environmentalists. Tay, how's the weather looking?
Straight up gorgeous, to be honest with you. The Bermuda High has its foot on our airspace's collective neck between now and the weekend. So if you were planning at all on any level to take a day off to sneak out to the beach, do it between now and Friday. It'll be worth your time. There might be a little rain here and there, but the refreshing kind as opposed to the disruptive kind.
All right, Mia, what you got for days of the year? Because I got something I need to say before you after you.
Okay, days of the year. There was kind of some interesting ones today, I have to be honest. But one thing I always thought was really cute. You guys ever heard of a thing called yarn bombing? You ever heard of yarn bombing? You know, well, you ever see when you go to like cities in the States or Canada or wherever, and there's like really big.
I don't. We got to run, though. We got to run.
Yes. Okay. They yarn bomb. They put little sweaters on trees.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I'll Google that.
You can do that now.
I'm going to have to check it out real quickly. I just want to, on behalf of everyone on this show, and the audience and everyone tuned in Hot 107.5 and streaming, we want to say big up and congratulations to the Bermuda national men's football team who beat Cuba last night. They are going to the final stages of qualifying for the World Cup next year to be held at this moment in North America. That's Canada, the United States, and Mexico.
Beautiful.
It was a wonderful victory. I mean, they had to win that game. So I don't think I hope that as the qualifiers, we get more into the qualifiers, Bermudians get out to support them. no more 700, 800 people in that stadium. We need a full stadium. We're going to be going up against some of the best teams in CONCACAF, and these fellas need your support. So
they deserve it.
Get out there and support them. Another thing I want to say, Father's Day is coming up, right? And I tweeted this morning, Kalen Castle, Teo, remember the Kalen came around, Hot 107.5 was intern,
of course,
like 13, 14. And Kalen lost her mom last year, but she's been, pushing and doing a lot of things with her music and performing and so on. And I saw she did a video yesterday. But what stands out to me with Kalen is Jack Castle, man, her father.
Mm-hmm.
The way he supports Kalen, man, stand up. The way that man loves his daughter out loud and pushes her for what she's doing. If there are any fathers tuned into this show right now, I encourage you. Love your daughters, your sons, love your children out loud, because Jack Castle is honestly an example.
Yeah.
Even Teo on the show, he slips it in every day almost while his babies.
Well, I mean, done by babies. What else am I supposed to do?
Your children out loud. I mean that, man. Seriously. Because Jack Castle, I hope people let him know.
Yeah, shout out to him.
Seriously.
Like whenever you saw Kayla, you saw him.
Yeah,
like it was just like that.
A big shout out to Jack Castle and love to Kaylin for her video. One last thing before we go to break, because we've got a very important guest, and hopefully she's not running after us, because we want to make sure we give her all the time in the world. Soleil Richardson coming up. But I want to say this, and to who this offends, I don't apologize. But the only thing as sweet as Bermuda beating Cuba yesterday was watching Senegal beat England 3-1. Why do I say that? Sorry, Mia. Sorry.
Oh no, I'm all about the underdog.
But I'll tell you why. Jamie Carragher, former England international and Liverpool football player, and now a Sky Sports analyst, as well as Paramount, disrespected African football in the African Cup of Nations literally like just earlier this year. It's a waste of time. Well, African football teams are about to show up, and yesterday was the first time.
He said African football was a waste of time.
He basically, in short, the African Cup of Nations is because an African teams never won the World Cup. African teams also never had the amount of access that European teams and South American teams had. So the in-your-face to Jamie Carragher yesterday felt so sweet. So big up to the African nations, Ghana, Senegal, Nigeria, all of them, but also Bermuda today, tomorrow, and every day after that. We'll be back after this break. Tavia, see you soon.
Appreciate y'all.
Soleil Richardson coming up. Stick with us.
People's ACW, located at King Edward VII Memorial Hospital, carries over-the-counter medicines, toys, cards, and even toiletries. Our knowledgeable staff are there whether you're at emergency, visiting family, or a member of BHB staff, to show you our best even when you're feeling your worst. People's ACW, we're here for you.
Hi there, welcome to Medical House. We're located at number 6 Bakery Lane. I can't wait to show you all of the great stuff that we carry. Come on inside, let's see. Long days, long shifts, you no longer have to endure comfortable underwear. Designed by nurses, we now offer premium undergarments by Swoop that are unique, fun, comfortable, and functional. The only underwear you'll ever want to wear. Who says high-quality functional products can't be stylish and comfortable at the same time?
See it all at our new expanded location on Bakery Lane.
96 degrees, real hot, oh yes.
Summer's heating up, but your home, it can chill. BAC is turning down the heat with 20% off Carrier X-Power mini split AC units. They're sleek, whisper quiet, and smart thanks to energy-saving inverter technology. New install, upgrade, doesn't matter. Just don't miss out. For a limited time, get 20% off when you pay with cash, credit, or debit.
96 degrees, real hot.
Swing by BAC on Mill Creek Road today.
Discover Drop It, your go-to grocery delivery. Browse and select from a wide range of groceries, from fresh produce to daily essentials. Our friendly drivers deliver fresh groceries to your door fast, saving you time and hassle. With Drop It, you get fresh groceries delivered fast so you can focus on what really matters. Drop It, freshness at your doorstep, delivered to your door with Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
Dreaming of expanding your business? With BDC's Loan Guarantee Program, we support your ambitions. Get up to 75% guarantee on bank or credit union loans up to $300,000. Just your vision and our support. Apply today and unlock new business opportunities. BDC, Bermuda Business starts here.
At Umami, we don't just sell spices, we spark something bigger. We believe food isn't just fuel, it's connection, it's tradition, it's joy. Our dream? To help you eat better, love louder, and maybe even start a little food revolution. One home-cooked, flavor-packed meal at a time. Because cooking isn't just a chore, it's an act of love. Umami Spice. Gather, cook, connect.
Alrighty, welcome back to the big show. Mia Shembre, I'm Jamal Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical Oils, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy. Folks, don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Also, folks, if you haven't done so already, whether you're on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, X, YouTube, whatever streaming platform you're on, do us a favor. It costs you nothing. Just help us beat the algorithm so that as many people as you know have access to these community conversations as possible. For those tuned into Hot 107.5, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for rocking with us. But without further ado, we have a very talented Bermudian joining us this morning. She's a dancer. She's an entertainer. I've seen her act as well. She's an actress. And we are proud and happy and excited to welcome, and let's give a warm TDH welcome to Soleil Richardson.
Hello.
Calm down. They're going crazy for you. I don't know if you heard them like that. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you guys?
Well, I think we're good. I'm good. How are you doing? Mia, you good?
Yes, happy to be here with you, Soleil. This is so exciting.
Yes, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for your patience. Teo talks a lot, so sometimes we were a bit behind, but forgive him. But so before we jump into anything, just tell the audience a bit about your background and what it is that you do.
Sure. So I've been dancing since I was around 3 years old. I started in like little mommy and me classes. And to be honest, I just never stopped dancing after that. I danced at United Dance Productions in Bermuda throughout primary, middle school. Throughout that time, I also did a number of summer programs overseas, which helped me, further my dance education and dance experience. Throughout those, I also found theater and acting and singing, which are things I've grown to love just as much as dance. For high school, I moved to the Williston Northampton School, which is a boarding school in Massachusetts, just because I was looking for a place where I could, further my academic interests as well as dance at the same time. I was a dance captain throughout my high school career. I also choreographed a lot for our shows. And then when it came time to find a college, I really had made the decision that I wanted to pursue dance in college. I figured if I want to do this thing, I want to do it fully and go all the way. So I auditioned and I made it into the Boston Conservatory at Berkeley College of Music, which is where I'm currently studying to get my Bachelor of Fine Arts in dance, with an emphasis on commercial styles.
So that's
the rundown.
That's some background, probably one of the best we've actually gotten.
Goosebumps.
No, honestly, and it leads me, because you just mentioned you decided to pursue it. There are so many people who want to pursue things like this, but they're obviously guided. No, you need to study IB or hospitality and so on. Like, at what point did you set in your head that no, I am going to pursue this? This is what I want to do.
For me, I always knew it within myself. I think I just let what other people say maybe cloud me a little bit. Ever since I was a kid, I knew I wanted to be on stage for the rest of my life. But obviously, as you said, we're met with so many people saying that, well, what are you going to do with the dance degree? What are your plans? So throughout high school, I kind of let that maybe get into my head a little bit. But I think when it really came down to deciding what makes me happy and what I want to do with my life, I, just looked inwards and I said, no one can say anything if I just try my best and try my hardest. And that's how I stumbled upon, deciding to pursue it, if that makes sense.
Indeed.
Yeah, I agree. I think it sounds to me like you're a quadruple threat. So plus you're a Bermudian, so let's just sprinkle that on top. I mean, God, shout out everybody. I think everybody is watching out. It's so exciting. So, Soleil, you're coming home to do a summer series, which is could be super exciting, with a variety of dance styles. Can you tell us what styles and themes participants can expect to explore during this series?
Sure. So I'm offering 3 styles. There's a jazz funk class, which is our first class this Friday, a contemporary class, and then an open level hip hop class. So jazz funk for the non-dancers is kind of hip hop mixed with jazz. It's a style that you don't see typically in Bermuda. It's very popular in the States, so I wanted to, bring that back to Bermuda. It sort of combines like the technicality of jazz with, the grooviness of hip hop. And then contemporary is a lot more like modern fusion sort of vibes, just a lot more free movements. And then that also incorporates some improv as well. And then hip hop, everyone knows and loves hip hop, including me. So that's our last class.
Amazing. So everybody can come and get warmed up for Carnival this weekend.
Absolutely.
What are some of the benefits for someone who's pursuing dance already participating in this series, Soleil?
Yeah, I think that one of the main reasons I wanted to come home and have these master classes is because I had the opportunity to take part in so many master classes when I was growing up in Bermuda. Troika brought in several dancers and I took class, and I found them to be really like fruitful experiences. So I would say the main benefit is honestly just being around like-minded individuals. I think, the traditional, dance school timeline or whatever, or community is obviously great in its own right, but it's very different to being in a room with people that are driven the same way that you are, that have the same aspirations and goals that you have, that have the same background that you have. And it really just creates an environment that it's competitive in the sense that everyone's trying to be better within themselves, so that then therefore makes everyone else better. It's a really healthy environment to be in, and there's nothing like being in a room with a teacher that wants to better everyone else, and it's like a mutual exchange of just art, and I don't know, it just makes me so happy. So I wanted to share that with Bermuda, and there were so many benefits that I found taking part in these classes, so I just wanted to share that with.
Indeed. Real quickly, just want to let everyone who's tuned in on radio, you can't see, but we are talking to very talented Bermudian Soleil Richardson. She's got a summer series coming up that we're discussing with an audience online. If you're on the stream, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to send them through and we'll get through a few comments. We've got Michelle White saying, Soleil, Miss Sunshine, welcome to TDH. Such amazing talent, a quadruple threat. Nikki Michelle says, burm. And we've got Joe who says, congrats, Soleil, you're totally amazing. I love watching you grow in dance.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, everybody keep the comments coming, Soleil. This is like, you're like the best. This is so amazing to interview you. And today. This is so exciting. And I'm so excited that you're coming home and that attendees are going to come and they're going to perform as part of, your series. will there be a showcase opportunities at the end of the summer series, or do you plan to do a group presentation or a live event?
So as of right now, there isn't a planned show. On my website, I was more so leaning towards the aspect of video and performing for camera. I think in a lot of spaces, people tend to, gatekeep their classes and they don't want people to record themselves. But I really want this to be a space where people, can get content for their social media, get content for their dance reels and their resumes. So towards the end of the class, there's always going to be an option, to film yourself, get a partner, switch on and off, and just, perform for the camera. And you can use that. Obviously, if that's not what you want, if you don't want to be on camera that day, that's completely fine. But I just wanted to have that option for the participants. And then maybe in the future, there'll be, a little showcase at the end of it. We'll see.
So exciting. I love that. And I love that talk about gatekeeping and how lots of times people in the industry, there's a lot of weird kind of shadows. And I love that you're shining the sun on other people's talents and really embracing that and really taking your own talents and really, giving that back to the Bermudian community, which is so exciting. For adults who may be hesitant or parents enrolling their children, like say if Jamal and I wanted to come, maybe learn boots on the ground. So we've all been wanting to learn that. So adults or parents enrolling their children, what level of experience is needed? And how do you ensure that the atmosphere stays welcoming and supportive?
Yeah. So the first two classes, the jazz funk and the contemporary class, are labeled as sort of intermediate advanced. It's kind of geared to people that do have a background in dance. I'm not saying that you have to be like pre-professional, but I did want it to be, a challenging space, but also, fun in the same way. The hip hop class, though, which is our last one, I've made it open level. So anyone that wants to, come and take class is welcomed in that class. It's hard to ensure and have a combo that makes everyone feel comfortable in their bodies. But for what I do is I really try and, provide modifications, if that makes sense. So there might be a move that, you can level up or you can level down. And it's the same sort of vibe of the move, but, you can pick and choose your own adventure type of thing. Yeah. And then, yes, I've received a lot of traffic on adult classes, and that is something that I really want to explore in the future, perhaps maybe later in the summer. I think I need a couple more, crash courses in teaching before I can fully, throw myself into the adult classes. But it's definitely something that I want to explore in the future again.
I want to ask you, because so many talented people just don't find the time to give back or share the gift with others. And that's not a fault of theirs. They just don't, have the opportunity. But you've obviously found the time to kind of create a space where you can give back. Who were some of the most inspirational people for you during your journey to say, you know what, they passed it on to me, now let me pass it on to another generation of people?
Of course, yeah. So I would say definitely my family at United Dance Productions, first and foremost. Miss Carling Ray, who was really my first mentor and sort of took me under her wing in my first class that I took with her, and saw something in me. And she gave back to me in the sense that whenever I had an audition for a summer program, she was working with me in private, making solos for me. So that's definitely a key person that inspired me to do this. And then also the entire Troika team, I would say as well, because one of my first master classes was Kaylin Harris. She's a dancer and choreographer, an American dancer and choreographer, and they brought her in for Carnival, and she also taught a hip hop master class. And I was like 10. I think everyone else in the room was like 18 and up. I don't know how I landed in that class, but that was really one of the first times where I was like, oh, this stuff can come to Bermuda, and people want this stuff in Bermuda, and it's a real need for it and want for it, even if people don't really realize it. So yeah, I would say those are the two main pillars of my
As we touched on earlier, we spoke about people who want to pursue dance, but obviously discouraged and so on. What advice would you give to young people who want to they're listening this morning, they're watching you this morning, they're like, man, I'm inspired by Soleil, but they don't have necessarily probably the support or confidence to do it. What would you say to them?
I'm gonna say that it's not easy. I think you have to have one of my key, core things that makes me stand out, I guess I would say, is passion. I think passion takes you so far. You have to really love what you're doing. You have to really care about what you're doing and what your art is putting into the world. So I would say that know that it's not going to be easy, but if you are disciplined and you stick to your training and you stay the course, and the saying is like, do it scared, just you really have to have a vision for yourself and stick to it. It's going to be hard, but that is my main advice, I would say. And also just be a nice person, like be a kind person. So much of you can be a great dancer, but if you're not a great person, people aren't going to want to hire you. People aren't going to want to work with you. So I would say stay humble, have sort of tunnel vision of your, dream for yourself and stick to it, and all should go well.
Indeed. We have a question. You answered this earlier when Mia spoke, but since, some people just tuned in or whatnot, Charles H. Jefferson II asking, will there be a public performance at the end of the sessions?
So not for this session, but there will be a lot of content on social media for everyone to follow along and post their experiences within the classes.
Well, speaking of which, social media, like how can people who might be interested or learning more or want to follow the journey, how can they get in touch or keep in touch?
Sure. So for more information on the summer series, you can visit soleilamara.com. Soleil, my first name, and then Amara, AMARA.com. And then you can also follow me on social media on Instagram, Soleil at soleilamara.dance. And a lot of content will be posted there.
Amazing.
Yeah, I think Mia and I, we do this thing where we have to go and do research before the show. We want to kind of at least pretend we know what we're talking about. And Soleil, man, I'm gonna be real with you. Your website is awesome. Honestly, it's awesome. I just so the audience can see a bit of it. It's awesome. Like, it's very straight to the point. She tells a great story about herself. And Dawn Bottom, she, explains classes within her series. So if you want to check it out, folks, for those who might know someone who knows someone or whatnot, it's Soleil, SOLEILAMARA, soleilamara.com. Check her out, reach out. What are your social media handles, if you don't mind?
Oh, yeah. So Instagram would be soleilamara.dance. I believe TikTok is the same. If not, it might just be Soleil Amara. I have to double check that. And those are my main social medias for dance.
All righty. And before you head out, just remind people, so the first series starts this Friday?
Yes, Friday the 13th.
Oh,
yeah.
What a day.
I love that. It's my favorite day.
No superstition around here. Well, Soleil, congratulations on all you've done. Anything else you'd like to say to the audience before you head out?
Just thank you. Honestly, I feel like I wouldn't be, the dancer and person that I am without, what Bermuda has put into me. So I'm just trying to give a fraction of that back, and, hopefully I'm successful in that.
Something you said that I hope sticks with everyone tuned in today, regardless of talent, and ability, be a nice person, just be a good person. I think really hit home. I mean, yeah, it takes more than talent. You know, we've had numerous people, whether it's Dan Floridafi, Connor Smith, and now yourself, say that over and over on this show. People who have made it to certain spaces. So we wish you all the best. We thank you for coming on the show this morning, and we wish you the very best with your summer series and everything you choose to do after. We'll be in touch.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Have
you
a
so
great
much.
one.
It's been awesome. Shall we strike a pose before we go? Before you go?
Sure.
Good. How,
Come on,
Oh,
Jamal.
wait.
Come on, Soleil. Ready? I'm going to do this.
this is this?
Oh,
a
are
thing?
we voguing? Okay. I'll do
Maybe we're voting. Yes.
I'm sorry, folks. I'm out of touch. See you later, Soleil. Have a great one.
Thank you. Bye.
You all made me look. I mean, you can't make me look any worse. Thank you so much, Soleil. Really appreciate that for her joining us and sharing what she's doing to give back, using her talent to give back. Folks, if you are haven't already, whatever platform you're on, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter X, Instagram, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. For everyone tuning into Hot 107.5, we appreciate you listening. We're going to take our final break, and we'll be back after this to wrap it up, and we've got a daily play for you. Stick with us. Y'all better get this one.
Forget the usual. Ditch the ordinary. Go off-grid, where adventure meets barefoot luxury. Welcome to Off-Grid RV Bermuda, the island's first recreational vehicle retreat where nature meets luxury in a fully solar-powered Airstream RV. Enjoy eco-conscious linens, cozy robes, a stove, and full bath in a mobile home. You'll find peace in every detail of your stay. Now accepting bookings for overnight stays and half-day escapes. We deliver and set up your Airstream at one of our 10 hand-picked island gems, or right to your private residence. Whether it's a honeymoon, golf getaway, birthday, or solo recharge, you'll get quality service every time. Book now at offgridrvbermuda.com and discover the sleep, serenity, and scenery you've been craving.
Hey, you all right, bud? I don't know, man. I finished running 20 minutes ago, and I feel like I'm still panting.
Look like you need to recover. Try this here. New drink. Yeah, you're like you want to go to the hospital in 2 seconds ago. This will make you fast like Flora.
Tastes good.
Yeah.
Yeah, bye.
Hey, we again.
I'm recovered, bye.
Being from this little island, like yourself, we knew you needed access to reliable shipping. We set up mailboxes so you can skip all the long waits or held up in customs excuses.
With mailboxes, that won't happen. Get your packages in under 48 hours using our dashboard.
Plus, if you're a planner or headerer, our weekly consolidation service might be for you. We hold your packages in Delaware and ship them together to save you big time on shipping fees.
And with our warehouse being in Delaware, that means 0% sales tax. Pretty cool, right guys?
Looking for the best care for your pets? Nova's Ark Feed and Supply has everything you need, from top quality foods to toys and supplies. We've got it all. Join our frequent buyer program and earn rewards every time you shop. Plus, we've been awarded the Clever Customer Initiative program for helping you save more. And don't forget, we open an hour early on Saturdays so you can get a head start on your pet care. Visit us today or shop online for easy pickup or delivery. Your pets will thank you.
Alrighty, welcome back to the Big Show. Thanks again to Soleil Richardson for stopping by this morning, folks. Again, if you appreciated the conversation, whether you're on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter X, Instagram, make sure you give us a love, like, follow, share the link with your friends, your family, your colleagues. Just make sure as many people as you know have access to the community conversations that we have every day. Big up to everyone at Hot 107.5 and Island Communications for ensuring that those in their vehicles or who listen on the radio can have access to these conversations as well. Mia, it's time for, thanks again to BAC Group of Companies, Medical Lenders, and People's Pharmacy also for ensuring we can do this. But Mia, we have a daily play today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. Mia, it's a name that plays. Audience, it's a name that plays. Are you all ready?
Okay, ready.
All right, here
Maybe.
we go. Which city is the capital of Haiti?
Oh my gosh. I have no idea. That's terrible. I actually don't know. Help me.
Someone's Googling.
Not me. I'm not Googling.
No. Oh, we got one Googler.
Hey.
Mark on Steve Phillips. You got a Port-au-Prince.
Port-au-Prince.
I can't roll time to do all that, but Port-au-Prince. Charles says Port-au-Prince. But Stacey Ann Brown and Nicole Walker. You got Hadley went real short. She just said Prince.
I love that.
No, it's not Prince from Minneapolis, Hadley. It's not that one.
My favorite.
Rosalind Fame is Port-au-Prince. And Mark says no Google. He says I've been to Haiti. Okay.
Okay. Okay, Mark.
I don't know many people have been. Was it missionary or vacation? Like let us know, Mark. But yeah, Port-au-Prince. Let's wrap it up though. Final thoughts. We've got. I was close without Google, says Charles. Yeah. I mean, Mark says he didn't use Google, but let's wrap it up. We spoke about the rising cost of rent and Airbnbs, and then obviously the conversation with Soleil.
Well, gosh, Jamal, I mean, I think there's just no real resolution in sight regarding housing, the housing crisis we're facing in Bermuda. Bermudians getting squeezed out. There's derelict buildings. Are we going to look at the different policies regarding building? Are we going to look at, there's just a bunch of different variables, which I think, would take a long time and lots of all of us getting together to maybe put some great ideas together, which we did come up with a few this morning. But I think it's just, as always, we have these big questions with a short amount of time in the morning. But I think it's good to highlight. And I think Bermuda's Love has highlighted as part of their campaign this month. And I think it's just something we need to keep cognizant at front of mind. And is there something we can do about it altogether? I mean, so that's my thoughts on that. Soleil Richardson. Oh my gosh, she was making me cry. What a breath of fresh air. She took my breath away. Like, what a beam of sunshine. What a kind and gorgeous human. Like, I am obsessed with her. I wish I could dance, or dance more than just like the mom two-step.
She said the mom two-step.
So I mean, if you have family members who are dancers, or you yourself are a dancer, I encourage you to please check out Soleil Amara on her website and sign up, because it's going to be an incredible series. I loved everything she had to say. I loved her life advice. And it's stuff that I try to really follow myself, be kind, do it scared. There's just a lot of, she dropped a lot of amazing gems this morning. And I love that she's a quadruple threat and that she's a Bermudian. It made me feel very proud to be Bermudian. Her family and all of her mentors must feel over the moon and the sun for her.
Yeah. I want to just real quickly say, James and Gunnar, that's Mia's husband and son, please send us video of Mia doing the mom two-step. All right. Get it. But I agree with you. I think we're in a very interesting space regarding the housing crisis in Bermuda. And my hope is that we can find solutions. Mia, you were honest. I'm honest. I don't know what the solution is. I'm going to throw ideas that may be very crazy out there. But there has to be a way. There must be a way. And my hope is that we can figure out a way where people do not have to leave Bermuda to find a comfortable or better way of living. As far as Soleil goes, it's awesome to see her. As I said just now, more than anything, being a good person will get you so many places just simple talent can't. And I think she has the right support behind her. She was, spoke about doing private classes with some of her mentors and the like, which told me something. She put in additional work. She didn't just go to dance class, but she put in additional work. So make sure you continue to give her gifts or share her gifts with others as she rises and lifts people up as she goes. So all the best to Soleil with her summer series and everything that she does after that. Do you have some daily inspiration for us?
I do, actually. So the daily inspiration, it was actually so funny. Soleil inspired it, but also recently I went to the Bermuda National Gallery and saw the Andy Warhols, and he actually painted a picture of Martha Graham. And today's daily inspiration is from Martha Graham. So, and Martha Graham says, "Dance is the hidden language of the soul."
I like that.
I like that too. I got a two-step in soul, but it's
hidden language of the soul. Okay, all
dance
right.
is the hidden language of the soul, Martha Graham. And if for those of you who are into dance, or maybe you just love art, definitely check out the National Gallery. They've got a beautiful Warhol installation with Martha Graham. It's gorgeous. Definitely, it's very inspiring.
Yet another language I don't know, but no, that's what's up. All right, folks, if you haven't already, whatever platform you're on, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share the conversation with your friends, your family, your colleagues. Please don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lindos, and People's Pharmacy, for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. She's Mia Chambray. I'm Jamel Hartman. Please do make it a safe and a great day. We are out. Peace.